I have a subscriber who burned out the alternator of his recreational vehicle because of a lithium battery. My first reaction was, but how is that possible? And I quickly understood his mistake. And indeed, you can very easily destroy your alternator, no matter the vehicle, if you do the same thing he did. So, for everyone switching from lead batteries to lithium batteries without checking the points we'll cover in this video, stay with us until the end. Before starting, you'll find our electrical diagram pack in the description of the video. Also, remember to subscribe to the channel, give a little like, and feel free to ask your questions in the comments. We will start with the basics to fully understand what is an alternator, because we need to speak to the most novice among you. A car alternator is an essential component that generates electrical energy to power the vehicle and recharge its battery when the engine is running. That's the first point. In simple terms, it converts the mechanical energy of the engine into electricity, an important point for what comes next. It heats up a lot, so the faster it spins, the better it's cooled, thanks to internal fans on its rotor. You need to know that there are two types of alternators. The ordinary alternator, the older one, produces a fixed voltage of 14 volts. These models were common before 2011. After 2011, smart alternators appeared. The advantage of these is that they are controlled by the engine unit, and they provide a variable voltage from 12.5 volts to 15 volts, and can even switch off to save fuel. What you must understand for what follows is that the car alternator was originally designed for lead batteries. It's perfectly suited to this technology for two reasons. First, lead batteries have a high internal resistance that naturally limits the charging current. This prevents the alternator from being overloaded. Second, most alternators can only supply their rated current at high rotational speed, which matches perfectly with the charging needs of a lead battery. The problem with lithium batteries is that, unlike lead, they have a very low internal resistance and can demand such a high current that the alternator's capacity can be exceeded. This creates major overheating risks, especially at low engine speed, because the engine rotates more slowly, and therefore the cooling is weaker. I'm not saying that you should not connect a lithium battery to an alternator. I'll explain how to do it properly, and how to choose and size a charger suitable for a lithium battery a bit later in this video. But I would like here to come back to a test I saw in a video made by a Victron dealership in Romania, a test that aimed to demonstrate the risks of alternator overheating when charging lithium batteries, without proper protection and without a suitable charger. To simulate a vehicle engine, the technicians used a three-phase motor of 230 volts, connected by a belt to a standard alternator. The system included a 300 ampere-hour lithium battery, discharged to 50% for each test, in order to maximize the current draw, and a Victron BMV 712 battery monitor to precisely measure the current entering the battery. The first test was carried out with a standard alternator. So, first phase, high-speed test at 3000 RPM. The alternator delivered 78.9 amperes. At this speed, the internal fan was spinning fast enough to maintain a stable and cool temperature, about 43 degrees Celsius. Second test at low speed, 1500 RPM. At a speed reduced by half, which is still higher than the idle speed of an engine, the alternator continued to supply a high current of 65 amperes. However, the fan was spinning too slowly to dissipate the heat. Result: the temperature rose critically until the internal windings began to burn. The second test was carried out with a smart alternator, equipped with an external regulator and a temperature sensor. Unlike the standard model, when the internal temperature reached high levels, up to 130 degrees Celsius, it automatically reduced the amperage to protect the device from destruction. Conclusion: the test proves that a lithium battery, unlike a lead battery, can demand maximum current even when the engine is running slowly, depriving the alternator of its cooling. We can now come back to the mistake to avoid, and how to correctly charge a lithium battery through the alternator. If you have an old alternator, from before 2011, and you connect a split-charge relay to a lithium battery, it's the same as connecting it directly. So yes, you're creating all the conditions to damage your alternator, and even quite quickly. Therefore, you must completely forget about this electrical setup because I still see it being used. Some people switch to lithium and plan to buy a charger later on, and sometimes people don't even know that they have a relay that charges the auxiliary battery through the engine battery automatically. So, I think it's important to remind you of this point. Now, you'll have understood that to recharge a lithium battery, you'll absolutely need a DC-DC charger. Why? Because it will guarantee both the optimal charging of your batteries and the protection of your alternator. And that's true no matter which type of alternator you have, old or smart model. But be careful. There are still a few criteria to check to avoid making a mistake at this stage. What I always recommend is first to look for the amperage of your alternator. For example, when I enter the license plate of my vehicle on an auto parts sales website, it offers me several power ratings for the purchase of a new alternator. I can choose between 150 amperes and 230 amperes, and it's generally advised to remain within a range between 30 and 50% of the capacity of your alternator when choosing your DC-DC charger. So, for my 150 amperes alternator, I installed a Victron DC-DC Orion Smart Charger of 30 amperes. I'm well above the 30% capacity, and I could even install two in parallel. I'm telling you this because I still see some people spreading fears about DC-DC chargers damaging the alternator in the long term. For me, this is totally unjustified if your system is correctly sized. Electricity requires calculations. It's not based on beliefs thrown out randomly, repeated, and based on nothing. Another point regarding DC to DC chargers. It acts as a current limiter. It starts up only when the engine's start phase is finished, so there won't be an additional current draw on top of that of the start. And finally, an alternator alone is not a smart charger. A DC to DC charger is also essential for lithium technology because it applies a three-phase charging algorithm: bulk, absorption, and float, which is essential for the battery lifespan. In addition to that, modern vehicles, Euro 5 and 6, have controlled alternators that vary the output voltage to save fuel. And again, the DC-DC charger stabilizes the output voltage regardless of the alternator variations. So, switching to lithium is not something you improvise. It's often easier on a new installation, where you start from zero, but to upgrade an existing installation requires knowing what you're doing. There you go. I hope this video will bring you useful information. And above all, remember to like and leave me a comment. It really makes me happy to read you. See you very soon.